because I don't know where you want to go with this. Money in the Bank. We know we disagree on wrestling a lot, so I'm going to let you drive it, and I'll give my opinion on whatever you want to talk about.
Okay, first of all, I love my personal favorite match outside of the two ladder matches. My favorite match and the one I was most interested in coming into the show was Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch because I think they've had a solid feud. I really enjoyed the promo battles that they've had, and I thought it was a really good match. But my problem with the ending was not that Becky won. I think that was the right decision. But if Becky wants to cement herself as a heel, I wanted her to win in more heelish fashion rather than just simply winning by surprise roll up and grabbing the tights. Like I
Well,
wanted
isn't grabbing the tights heel fashion?
I but it's yes, but it didn't get me to go, "Oh, Becky, how could you do that?" You
That's
know,
fair. That's fair.
it didn't get like a major reaction out of me. I Whereas with some heel, we've seen heels win matches in fashions where you're like, how could you do that? Like what? Like if they slam them on the back with a chair or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't find anything you just said.
Yes, you will get truth. Which okay, we're gonna get right to this. I don't think this was a work at all. I think this was much like what you and I debated last year with Cody and them switching it. I think this was the same thing. WWE heard the backlash and everybody saying we want truth, and they're like, "Oh damn, we gotta bring him back." I don't think this was a work. I don't think this was, you know, let's do this and get the reaction. No, I think this was WWE being like, oh shit, we're gonna get trashed for this. We gotta bring him back.
I agree with you, and I also agree with the never seen 17, the 17-time world champion John Cena, that everybody will once again forget about our truth once this storyline is over. And I'll be honest with you, I was
He's not.
surprised.
Wait a minute. Who is this R Truth that you speak of? I don't
Yeah,
know. He's Ron Killings.
yeah, and I think that's a clear sign that this was not a work. They're bringing back Ron slash our truth for one last run. Listen, I was upset that the fact that he was in a storyline and they let him go, and it felt kind of weird. But it's like again, I was not gonna lose sleep over our truth being released. I may be in the minority. I wasn't. I'm sorry. The fan base though does have a voice, and unlike the previous administration, WWE does seem to listen a little bit more to their fan base. And I won the main event. I thought it made sense. Now for them to not run it back with him and Cena right away, and for them to go with Cena and Punk is a little odd to me because I thought you'd capitalize on it and do Cena and Truth again at Night of Champions in Saudi, but they're going in a different direction.
Yeah, I'm very surprised they're going with Cena and Punk at Night of Champions. I thought they would save that for SummerSlam because that's such a big match.
Well, I already told you what the SummerSlam match is going to be, and I believe this now more than ever.
Cena versus Cody.
And Cody wins the championship.
Yeah. Um. By the way, it would not surprise me if they go in the direction of, especially now that Gunther has the World Heavyweight
Yeah,
Championship.
what did you think about that? I was legitimately shocked. I thought there was no chance. I thought it was a good shock, personally.
See, here's why I think they did that. It's because Sammy is going to win that championship from Gunther at SummerSlam, but who's gonna ruin the
Seth Rollins.
celebration? The visionary, the architect, the Monday Night Messiah. By the way, that was my favorite version of him as a
He's
heel.
basically bringing it back now. I mean, isn't that what this gimmick is? That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. It's going to be hard for him to top what he did during his feud with Kevin Owens, though. That was my favorite version of him as a heel, was specifically in his feud against Kevin Owens. But that aside, Seth Rollins cashes in, wins that championship, and at WrestleMania 42, which is going to be in Vegas again. Oh my God, C-Boss and I burst out laughing when they actually confirmed it.
We already talked about the reason why a couple weeks ago. I'm not going to rehash the reason why. I'm pissed too.
But
your computer's acting up again, Josh.
I think it's because they're gonna versus Cody. God damn it. Seth versus Sammy at WrestleMania for the championship, and that's where Sammy wins it.
No, I don't disagree with you at all. I was a little bit upset when Rollins won the Money in the Bank briefcase because I thought it was kind of obvious, and I thought that LA Knight should have won the briefcase in my opinion because LA Knight's been the runner-up 3 years in a row, and I think it's time for LA Knight to be a world champion. And I was upset that CM Punk and Sami Zayn did not interrupt and cost Rollins the briefcase the way Solo Sikoa did to, the way Jacob Fatu did to Solo Sikoa. But it all makes sense now. And I think you're right. I think Sammy could win the King of the Ring and challenge Gunther. I also think it's possible you could do Cody Rhodes winning the King of the Ring, and that's how you get to Cena. Maybe you have Cody versus Randy Orton in the final since they're on the opposite side of the bracket.
You very well could. I think my computer is just being slow for some reason, and I apologize about that. But let me know if we're good.
You're still good.
But overall, okay. I did really like Naomi winning the Money in the Bank, by the way, because I think that's going to lead to her cashing in on Tiffany Stratton.
See, I disagree, Josh. I think she's going to cash in on Jade Cargill. Sorry, you're breaking up. I tried to step in while you're breaking up because you're really breaking up again. I think Jade is going to win the Queen of the Ring. She's going to beat Tiffany Stratton at SummerSlam. Naomi's going to cash in. Josh, I'm assuming he's going to go back on his phone here. We're going to have to wrap this thing up here in the next 5 minutes anyway. Sorry about the technical difficulties tonight we've had on championship rings. But yeah, I thought personally that Roxanne Perez was going to win the Money in the Bank contract. And I wanted to see them go. But now that Naomi's won the briefcase, I think Jade is going to win the Queen of the Ring. She's going to beat Tiffany Stratton, and Naomi's going to cash in on Jade.
So you think both cash-ins will happen at SummerSlam?
I think it's very possible. Night 1 and night 2, right? You're going to create a buzz.
See, I think it's not going to be that she cashes in on Jade, although I totally get what you're saying. I actually think it's going to be that Bianca wins the championship, and somehow haven't quite figured that part out yet. But Bianca's going to win the championship, and Naomi tries to cash in, fails, and you somehow get to a triple threat match for the championship. Jade, Bianca, Naomi.
I agree with you on the triple threat. I just think that Naomi would be the champion.
I have Bianca as the champion going into it.
I think Bianca gets upset that over the last year, Jade's been champion, Naomi's champion, and she couldn't pull the deal off against Io Sky.
That's definitely a valid point. It's totally valid.